What I'm going to do here with my photograph is, once again, I'm just going to revert them here to go all the way back to where we started. You're more than welcome to grab one of your images if you want to work on one of your own personal images, or you might want to grab one of the other work files. That's perfectly fine as well. What we're going to do is essentially we're going to select this time the blemished area and then tell Photoshop to fill this area. But we don't want to fill this area with a solid color like the foreground or the background. We're going to fill this guy with content aware. So essentially what's going to happen is Photoshop is going to analyze the selection, analyze the area around the selection, and then do its best to fill the selection based on the content around the selection. It's kind of bizarre. So the first order of business is to select this area. So I'm going to go and grab my lasso tool out of the toolbox. And just very sort of quickly and roughly, I'm going to freehand a selection around the spray paint on the side of this tree. Something like this. Good stuff. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to head up to the Edit menu and then down to Fill. Okay? Now, once again, as I just mentioned here, I don't want to fill with the background color or the foreground color or any kind of a solid color. I want to fill with Content Aware. Okay, go ahead and choose that guy and then click on OK. And once again, Photoshop goes to work analyzing the selection, analyzing the area around the selection, and it fills the selection in as best it can. Now I'm going to go ahead and deselect Control or Command D on my keyboard, and there's my results. Pretty awesome, pretty amazing. Way better than I could have done with the Clone Stamp tool. Let me zoom out here just a little bit so we can have a look at our overall image. Wow, you can hardly even tell that that was retouched. Okay, maybe only the most discerning of eyes could tell that that was patched. I mentioned in the previous exercise there's a couple of different ways to work with the new Content Aware. This is one way, filling with Content Aware. Let me show you another way to work with this guy using the Patch tool. So give me a second here. I'm just going to, once again, revert back to our spray painted tree. There we are. And I'll zoom in once again on this guy. Maybe a little bit closer. There we go. Something like that. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our Patch tool. Our Patch tool is grouped in with our Red Eye tool and the Spot Healing Brush tool and so on. This guy right here, go ahead and grab this guy. So I'm going to grab this guy here. Maybe I zoomed in just a little bit too close. There we go, something like that. And what I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to freehand a selection once again around the blemish. Again, this could be a skin blemish or perhaps again, an area of a roadway that has some oil stains or cracks or whatever you have there. So go ahead and freehand your selection around there. And then from the options bar across the top, we have Patch. And you can stick with normal, that's fine, or now we can choose this Content Aware patch. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this guy. And now you and I are in control of what this area gets filled in with. Maybe you're not happy with the result that we got when we filled with Content Aware and you want to have control now. So quite literally what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag inside this selection. It's almost like having a little window now, and I can move this window around and find an area inside my image that I want to fill this selection with. And it can be parts of the background if you want, or obviously parts of our tree. So maybe something like this. I let go with my mouse, Photoshop goes to work and does its best to fill in that selection with the area that you and I specified. Once again, I'll go ahead and deselect Control or Command D on my keyboard and view the results. Looks fantastic, looks great. So maybe even a better result than we got with the Clone Stamp tool. The Clone Stamp tool is a manual tool. You and I have to get in there and do all the work ourselves. Here with Content Aware, Photoshop's helping us along as well, giving us some really awesome results.